Hey, I'm back again, and this time I will be giving a speech or a presentation that I once did in high school in VCE. Anyways, I will just go for it, and I will post a link with my actual speech if anyone is interested in having their own copy or using it for their own uses for school if they need to do an oral presentation. Anyways, today I'd like to present the issue of child sex abuse, which isn't a well-known issue in our society, or just may not be something that people like to talk about. But the truth is, it happens, and this issue is more common than you may think. There is no point in me telling anyone that it should not happen, as we should all know that this is a traumatic experience that no one should ever deserve to go through. So I would simply like to raise awareness for this horrendous issue. The World Health Organization defines child sex abuse as the involvement of a child in sexual activity that he or she does not fully comprehend and is unable to give informed consent to, or for which the child is not developmentally prepared, or else that violate the laws or social taboos of society. Children can be sexually abused by adults or children who are, by virtue of their age or stage of development, in a position of responsibility, trust, or power over the victim. So to break that down for you, a sibling, a parent, a family friend, a family member, or even a complete stranger are all people capable of sexually abusing a person. But of course, only such a sick-minded person will do such a cruel thing to someone. Hundreds of thousands of children are sexually abused each year, and only a few of them are able to speak up. And the few children that do speak up don't always get the help they need. It is incredibly frightening to speak up to a qualified elder, but of course, nothing is as difficult as being sexually abused itself. When we are children, we are very naive, and as we grow older and mature, we're able to fully grasp the entire weight of the situation. In the case of child sex abuse, only a small percentage of young children are able to speak up. But as victims grow older, they find it slightly easier to speak up. This is because as we grow older, we mature, and people that have been sexually abused, such as children, mature, and they may be seeking some kind of justice or closure. However, still only 11% of victims a year that are now older find the courage to speak up. The reasoning behind this is because sexual abuse is often forced upon young children through manipulation. And as you grow older, you develop a better understanding of what manipulation is and how to recognize it. I could go on for days about how hard it is to speak up because there are so many statistics that would back me up. But seeing that there is so much to get through, I unfortunately have to move on. There are many programs associated with child sex abuse, and just to name a few, there is CASA, Brave Hearts, and Lauren's Kids. Although there are many more programs, today I'd like to talk about a program in particular, CASA. Now, CASA is one of the biggest programs associated with sexual abuse. But if I were to ask all of you, what does CASA stand for? How many of you would be able to tell me what it stands for? CASA stands for Centre Against Sexual Assault. Although the last standing word of CASA is assault, it does not stray from the topic sex abuse, as sex abuse is ongoing sexual assault. CASA provides help, support, counselling sessions, and more programs associated with child sex abuse and women in general. CASA teaches victims how to be better than the offender and helps victims understand that it is never the victim's fault. Now, as I made this presentation at school, I did refer to classes, but this can be referred to your whole family, friendship groups, anything. Anyways, as I'm speaking at this moment, there is at least 50 to 100 children somewhere in the world who are being sexually abused. That's nearly 4 whole classes. Don't you feel lucky that you are all here in a safe environment? What if we just stop to think for at least a minute that there are children out there who are not safe? There are children out there who are being manipulated by a predator into getting sexually involved with them. There are children who have no voice because they are terrified, but we have a voice. We, as individuals, all have a voice to support victims of child sex abuse. Wouldn't it be great if all of us spoke up for a victim? All of us as individuals are able to make a difference, to put a smile on one's face, to change one's future. We are all capable of it. We as individuals are capable of caring, supporting, and speaking up. As victims are forced to go through such a traumatic experience, with great certainty, I believe we are all able to speak up for them, because no one deserves to go through being sexually abused. Thank you.